What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy, Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. The last few episodes, we've talked a lot about the cornerback position because Jalen Ramsey has now officially been traded, and now we have the void that we knew we would have. It's official. Now, the Dolphins already said, we are not here to spend no money. We ain't got it. If you want it, it's not here, all right? Which means that the Dolphins may very well go in-house to find their quarterback need. We know Cater is going to be somewhere in the starting lineup, 1, 2, or 3 at cornerback. My question is, what other corner might step up? So I'm going to feature a different corner for the next few episodes and just kind of see what they can possibly be. The first one is going to be Storm Duck. Now, Storm Duck's kind of I can't say he's a fan favorite. I think people just like his name. It's a cool name. But Storm was an undrafted free agent in 2024, and he's shown flashes. He has solid size. He's not elite at anything, but there is some belief that he could emerge if maybe given more time, maybe given some seasoning, because again, he was an undrafted player, which means that the whole league passed on him a bunch of times. But he's on our team now, and we want to see what he can do. So last year, they grade cornerbacks every year on a scale of 0 to 100, as they do most things. Last year, Jalen Ramsey was just like a 72, which is, not top 15, but somewhere between 16 and probably 40. It's in that range. Storm Duck graded out at 55. So there's a gap between where Jalen was and where Storm was last year. But to be fair, Jalen's stat is probably based on the fact that he's older, maybe was playing through injuries, what have you. Storm didn't get a ton of time, and when he did, he didn't do great with the time he had. But also, when you don't play a lot, sometimes you don't just hit the ground and just run and be great. Sometimes you got to get some seasoning. You got to be on the field. And I don't believe he's a 55 level corner, but if he can get to 65, and again, this grading, I don't know how Pro Football Focus, how them do their grading. They keep all that stuff in-house. But if he can get somewhere close to a 65, like a 10-point jump, that's still less than where Jalen Ramsey was last year. But would that be good enough to be a number 3 corner? 65, like going against a third receiver? That, like most people's third receiver, I would think on a scale of 0 to 100, is somewhere between a 65 and a 70. Very few teams have a great third receiver. So the third receiver for most teams is okay, and Storm Duck is an okay corner, and we're paying him basically nothing now. Does that work? It definitely fits in the model of what the Dolphins are currently doing. Definitely not trying to spend any money. We've kept him on the team for 2 years now. We see something in you, and I think he can make that jump because I do think there's talent there. I also think that when you're on the field and you don't know when you might get yanked, as much as I love competition and one-year deals and contract year stuff, the other way is also true. Some people, when that pressure gets on, they get nervous. It's like if I miss one tackle, I'm yanked for the game. We've all been there. It's nerve-wracking when it's like you almost want it so bad that you mess up plays that you normally can make. Like the read, you're like, but if that's the wrong read, I might give a touchdown. So instead of breaking the ball and making a play on it, you hesitate, and then a reception happens, and you're like, I could have made the play, right? I don't know if that's where Storm is. Like I know he's been working hard in the offseason as of now, and it seems like his head's in the right place, which is great. I'm hoping that translates to the field because he's already building a team. We've brought a few people in to compete for the job, but Storm's already there. He knows the system already, which means he should have a leg up above the rest of the guys. And if he plays moderately well, we all know what's going on with Cam Smith. We'll get into him soon. So if he's better than Cam and he's at the same level as some of the guys we brought in, then I don't see any reason why he won't get on the field. But really, it's up to him. So we traded Jonnu Smith along with Jalen Ramsey. And in typical fashion, once we trade a player, they got to throw some barbs at the former team. And I wish it wasn't like this. I get it. But it's how the league is at this point. You will want people to say, hey, thank you for the opportunity. I'm just going my separate ways. But it seems like at some point there's a little on the way out. And honestly, they ask questions in a way to sometimes get you to say the thing to be negative about your old team. It's like, how does it feel being appreciated going to your new team? And you're like, well, I didn't think I wasn't appreciated before, but it's like, do you feel like they're giving you a chance your former team didn't give you? And then they come right at you, and it's like, bro, like, I know you want the clickbaity thing. I know you want to put that on, the bottom third. So-and-so hates their former team. It's not always that deep. Sometimes it's just we couldn't come to an agreement, and it gets a little dicey. So I think that's more or less where this Jonnu situation was, where he just wanted money, and we didn't have money. It came down to that. Tua came out, the starting quarterback, the franchise said, I want him to stay. I don't know if a bigger endorsement than your quarterback being like, hey, I like him and I need him. But Tua doesn't control the purse strings, so it's not up to him. So they interviewed Jonnu, and he gave his comments on how the situation kind of came to an end. He said, eventually came to a point where they told me they just can't do it. It wasn't economically able to put me in a position to be paid like a Pro Bowl tight end, and that one stung. And we tried to figure it out, and we just couldn't. I had to make the decision to say, man, well, I got to go where I'm appreciated and viewed on paper, economically, contract wise, as a top guy in this league, which I know I am. And Pittsburgh was a team that saw me as that. Yeah, that makes sense. And again, Pittsburgh immediately gave him a 1 year, $12 million deal. We were going to give him 4.8. I don't know how high the Dolphins were going to go. I speculated they could go as high as 8. That's where my numbers were. But they never like officially put out. We offered him 1 year, $8 million. That never got put out. Clearly, we weren't anywhere near 12 because he left beautiful Miami to go to Pittsburgh. So, and that's not a better situation. Even if you think Aaron Rodgers and Tua are comparable, Pittsburgh's team is all over the place. Offense is not great. They have a second string running back that has a starter running back. The offensive line has been in shambles. They have one receiver who hasn't played in that offense before. Like, it's not conceivable you think that's a better situation in Miami. But they were paying more money. And really, he said there, it wasn't, I don't like Miami. It wasn't, I don't fit in the culture. It was, hey, I think I'm here. My money is here. Can you bridge the gap? And Miami said, no. that's what it came down to. And I said many times, I didn't think he was a $12 million corner, meaning I don't think we can pay him $12 million. He might be worth $12 million. I don't think he's worth $12 million to us. Evidently, Pittsburgh has more money than I thought they had. Like, I didn't think they would even pull the trigger this way, but they did. So, shout out to Jonnu. He didn't really, throw the team under the bus for real. I understand that it stings. Like, we all know the league is mostly, they will give you a contract. And if you just meet the contract, fine. If you go a little bit under, they will try to get some money back. But if you far exceed, you get into that situation where people start holding out. It's the name of the game. Everyone sees it. I don't know if TJ Watt may be in that situation right now with Pittsburgh. Clearly, he's worthy of $40 million just based on what the market is. If they're giving him tight end $12 million, I don't believe they have $40 million for TJ Watt. So he may be in a situation where, hey, I'm worth this. Y'all aren't paying me. I got to get out. Shout out to Jonnu. I was hoping we can get one more year out of him because last year was arguably his best season. And I think he really opened up the offense for us. But $12 million is a lot. It's too much. Too rich for my blood. So shout out to Jonnu. Hopefully he doesn't come out later and just say some off-the-wall stuff about Tua or the coaching staff or what have you. But we wish him the best. Here we go again. I can't believe we're here for the third time. But yet, here we are. Tyreek just keep doing this to me. Here's the thing. I didn't even know this story happened until it happened. So we know Tyreek and Noah Lyles were supposed to race. That didn't happen. Then he jumped out here, called out, I show speed. Speed either declined or pushed it back. I think Speed's been in with an injury, like a calf injury. So I imagine he doesn't want to run on that right now. Totally cool. Then he went and beat Noah Lyles' little brother in a race, just going after the ops. Totally fine. Now he's trying to race another YouTuber, Ashton Hall. If you don't know who Ashton Hall is, Ashton Hall was the guy that had that the 3 a.m. morning routine with the bottled water and dumping his face in ice and then just standing out looking at the balcony, thinking about his day, doing a single push-up and then reading a book. Like the most elaborate morning routine ever guy who then would just run down the street with 7 camera people around him. Jack Diesel dude. Got it. But that's what he is. He's known as the routine guy, right? So that guy raced Ice Show Speed, I think a week or two ago, and got dusted 4 times. 4! And so Tyreek saw that and said, hey, guess who's next? You guessed it. T. Hilly, your boy. So they set up a race for yesterday in Miami, and he said, yo, meet me out here, Ashton. I got you, 5:15. Set the race up, and evidently he did not show up. Just, I don't know, time crunch, conflicted, don't know what happened. So Tyreek immediately jumped on X, giving his own fight routine, like waiting for the fight, looking at his watch. He had a whole lot. I mean, it was actually really well put together. I gotta give him credit. As ridiculous as this whole situation is, it was well put together. This guy's even slower than ice show speed. I imagine Tyreek would have dusted him by at least 6 or 7 steps. But it's just funny that Tyreek is again out here trying to race YouTubers. It feels like I can race Tyreek. That's what it feels like. I'm not famous enough for that, but if y'all keep watching this show and I get a couple more viewers, I'm gonna just issue a race. Yo, Tyreek, come see you, boy. Dolphins Daily, Chris, let's go. I don't even care if I win the race or not. Just the idea that I'm like, you know what? I don't think you're as fast as you used to be, Tyreek. Come see your boy in the race, and just see what happens. Just see if he's like, yo, meet me on the field. I'll pull up. I'll pull up right now. Will I get dusted? Of course I will. Who cares? If Tyreek just agrees to it. At this point, Tyreek might be racing Jake Paul in a second. He's just here for the clicks, content over everything. I don't know. This is actually, for some reason, this story is funny to me. Maybe because the race didn't happen and because Ashton is such a ridiculous character in and of himself that it's just funny that we're here again. Because I feel like at this point, more YouTubers and TikTok people should just start jumping out challenging Tyreek. And then it's not going to just be Tyreek. It's going to be other players in the league. Like, yo, DK Metcalf, meet me on the track. You just jump out. Anyone you know is fast, you just call them out. Just see what happens. They're in the offseason right now. Like, they don't have to go to practice. Everyone's conditioning themselves, sure. But, listen, you give me up to 5K subs, I'm calling out Tyreek. You heard it right here. I'll call him out. Yo, Tyreek, you don't want it. just say something real condescending like, man, Tyreek 2019 would have got me, but Tyreek 2025, 2026, he don't want that smoke. And just see what we get. At the very least, he might give some click engagement and be like, yo, check out my homie on Dolphins Daily, and we might blow up. Or he might want to race me, and then he can beat me, and my family can laugh at me, but I don't care. I don't care nothing about that. It's just, this is a fun story. This actually makes me happy. I'm not as mad as I was about the Noah Lyles thing. This just seems kind of fun to me. And finally, we're going to get to some of your comments because we always enjoy that. And the first comment is, do you expect Artie Burns to finally live up to his potential? Oof, that's tough. So Artie Burns, if you don't know, went to Miami Northwestern High, went to the University of Miami, first round pick. He was supposed to be a bona fide corner. Like your number one corner, possibly, quite possibly, number two corner at worst. And his first year, he had 3 picks, and people are like, oh, okay. First pick rookie, 3 picks is not bad. Second year, 1 pick. All right, whatever. And then for the next 5 years, literally 0 picks. I had to look it up. He literally, for 5 consecutive years, has had 0 picks in a game, in a season. Almost incomprehensible as a cornerback to go 5 years without a pick. I don't even know how you do that. Now, some of those years he got hurt, played 11 games, played 5 games. If you play 11 games, you should get a pick. I don't know what we're talking about. One season, he played 15 games. They got 0 picks. I don't know what to do with that information. That's crazy to me. I guess you can say he's due for a pick. It's been 5 years. You can almost fall into a pick accidentally. However, I expect him to either not make the team or to be like at the very bottom of the cornerback totem pole, possible special teams guy. I don't see that, UM corner emerging and like having a starting job. I don't see that in him because, it's been 5 years since he got a pick and he's been injury prone. So if you're not turning the ball over and you're hurt, I don't know 5 years is a long time. Like, it's one thing if you're like 5 years, like if he was like Nnamdi Asomugha when he played for the Raiders and then Philadelphia, where people just kind of stopped throwing his way. So his picks went down, but his target rate was trash. That's not what's happening here. He's just not getting picks. So I don't believe he has starting potential, barring, tons of injuries, or if he literally has the latest bloom I've ever seen from a cornerback. If just at age 30, he's just like, all right, I got it now, and just emerges to be this phenom. Like, that would be crazy. I've never seen anything like that before. When the name got signed, I'm like, oh, what a great story that would be. Like, from Miami, went to University of Miami, went to the Dolphins, and then finally emerges and becomes a good corner. It's a great story. I don't see it. I see him most likely not making a team or being a special teamer. But if he proves me wrong, dude, what an amazing story. I have no beef or qualms with Artie at all. It's just the stats and the gameplay doesn't tell me that this is a guy that's going to make a lot of impact on the team. So I do not have the highest grade on that, unfortunately. Finally, if the Dolphins do go into a rebuild, do you think they'll start by cutting Tua? Um, I guess it depends on what the draft looks like. Like if this upcoming year, depending on our pick, like right now, I don't see the Dolphins being bad this year. So there's allegedly 5 or 6 quarterbacks coming out of this upcoming draft. I think 2 or 3 are going to be really good. I think a couple are overhyped. I'm not a Drew Aller guy. A lot of people are. Um, I think Cade is probably like the safest. People are really high on Nussmeier. I need to see a little bit more. I think his talent is there, but we'll see. I don't think Arch Manning's coming out at all. I've already said that many times, right? So Lenoris, I think, has like he's like a hybrid of Milrow and Lamar to some degree. If he can harness all that, could be great. But we'll see if South Carolina is good next year. So this class is supposed to be good. I don't know what next year's, like 2 years from now's class will look like, which is I guess when the rebuild could possibly happen. We will obviously won't be in any situation to get an Arch Manning type player. I don't know who will be coming out that year, but if the quarterbacks are looking kind of mid, then I think they would maybe come to Tua and ask for a pay cut in some way, or like some kind of restructure where they can like, spread the money out a little bit better. So I don't know they would immediately jump to a cut unless they have a better option because you can rebuild a team around a quarterback if like you're overpaying a couple of linemen, a couple of skill positions. Like, hey, we can draft a new receiver and not pay them $30 million. So we'll draft a receiver in the first round. There's always good receivers. So we might let Waddle and Tyreek both go. And then just recoup a bunch of young guys and say, hey, Tua, you got to lead these young guys. Devon will be due for an extension after next year. So, you got to figure out, are we going to pay Devon 15 plus million? Because that seems like what the rate's going to go. We'll see what Jameer Gibbs' contract looks like. After Jameer gets his deal, then you'll see Brees and Bijan. And then it's like, hey, Devon is like, hey, I'm in that same class. Like, he's going to watch their number. And I think they might get to a scary number. So then the Dolphins says, hey, are we going to keep Devon? And if we're not, then we got to draft a new running back too. So if you're redrafting running backs, receivers, and a bunch of other skill positions, you probably need a trigger person that's like more competent. But I do think they would have to get him to a more reasonable number. So I don't necessarily think a rebuild means that two was cut. I do think restructure for sure. And if they get an opportunity where they like a quarterback that's someone's backup or someone in the draft is like they're really, really high on and we end up having like a bubble top 10 pick and we can package a couple move picks and move up a little bit, then maybe. But as of now, I think we are in a tour business for the next couple of years. And I guess we'll just see after that. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes and subscribes. You've been crushing it lately. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.